sweetheart, do you know why you're being disciplined? Mommy does not want to discipline you. Mommy does not enjoy having to spank you.
Mommy doesn't have to spank. That God-given instinct, eternal protectiveness, particularly in the very early years, is hardwired in. Many parents have a somatic response when they begin to spank. Either they are overcome by their anger. They speak to this earlier in the episode. The male co-host talks about his wrath jokingly. Overcome by their anger, and it feels good to vent that on their child. Or they feel a somatic response. They dissociate. They maybe feel a ringing in their ears, shaky in their bodies. They feel the adrenaline surge. For all the words about don't spank in anger, what they mean is spank with a calm countenance. We need to stop minimizing this by saying, oh, it's a little swat, oh, it's a little pop. Often evangelical parents are being told to collect themselves, to grab a tool, to pull down their child's pants, to count the swats, to look for cries of penitence, to pray afterwards. We need to stop minimizing it. We need to name it with appropriate terms like hitting, beating, because if you're using a tool, that is what you're doing. And a lot of people will say, well, Marissa, spanking isn't abuse. Okay, so how are you going to define when that line is crossed? Because every justification I've heard puts that line according to parental intent. It fails to reckon with the impact, the way even a pop might destroy the spirit of a sensitive child, be confusing to a toddler who is not able to process this information. They just know their caregiver hurt them. Y'all, we can be done with this. They're not biblical. The research of the past 50 years that we do have, good research, shows it's not particularly effective. It's correlated with all kinds of long-term problems. It causes increased behavioral problems. On every count, there's nothing redemptive about this. But parents are stuck holding on to so often with this is they believe God told them to do it. And so they should reject all the evidence to the contrary, their own instincts, the testimony of many adult children who say, look, this was super harmful for me. This destroyed my relationship with my parents. This destroyed my faith. You can ignore all the research because we've been given these wrong interpretations of a handful of Bible verses that were originally intended to cultivate wisdom. And instead of cultivating wisdom, we've checked our critical thinking at the door and said, well, I may not understand how it works. It may feel wrong to me on every metric possible, but if the Bible says it, I believe it.